It's been 9 months, 10 months since I have last filmed a video. It's a very long time. I went from filming and uploading videos twice a week to absolutely nothing. By the way, what's up? Hi, it's been a hot minute. This video is kind of going to be a bit different because I've been gone for 9 to 10 months, and this video is going to be all about where I've been, what happened, and why I'm back all of a sudden. If you're into these sort of videos about drama or what happened to me, sort of spilling the tea videos, then this is a video for you. If you don't like videos about people just chit-chatting for almost an hour, then I don't suggest that you watch this video, because I have a feeling this video is going to be a little bit lengthy and got a lot to vent about. I may not have a huge following, but I just felt like I had to let everyone who did follow me, who was watching my videos, just let y'all know like what the heck happened and where I went. So let's just get straight into the video. So to start this video off, what kind of spiraled my sort of work life, which turned into my personal life, sort of out of control, was my boss of 8 years leaving in August of 2017. He moved to California with his wife. They felt that they needed a change. They weren't necessarily happy here in Arizona, so they decided to up and move to California, and now they're extremely happy. We were all prepared for him to leave. We had quite a bit of time to prepare because we knew he was leaving. He was in the process of selling his house, so we knew that it was gonna happen. He was very serious about it, and we knew when his last day was, so we were doing everything possible in order to be ready for it. So end of August, I'm by myself. I'm running the whole show by myself with my assistant director, with what knowledge we had, and we felt as though we were doing okay. And in the middle of September, the beginning of September, we got our first director. He seemed very excited about working with us and ready for the challenge. He had never done anything with a senior community, but he seemed up for the challenge. He's very positive, very energetic, and a few days into his start of his new job, he handed me a name tag and said, "Here you go, congratulations, you're now executive chef, and I'm going to be relying on you for everything." I was like, thank you, but no, like what? Who, like, okay. I wanted executive chef, but I also felt I was ready for the director role, and that's what I had been training for like the last year. So when he handed me that and just said, "I'm going to rely on you for everything," I was like, okay, this is not normal. Usually you go through an interview process and you talk about things, you talk about your salary and like a normal job opening and interview, whatever. Less than 5 days later, he walked out. That same day, my boyfriend's great-grandfather passed away. We knew that was coming, but for everything to happen on the same day was a lot. My boyfriend is not allowed to use his phone during work hours. He manages very heavy equipment and uses it. So I knew about his grandfather before he did, and I lost it. I was crying all day with a mixture of his great-grandfather and then losing my director. He literally just walked out and was like, "I wish you nothing but the best, but I can't do this," and literally walked out the door. I was like, oh my god, this is not happening. This is not happening. So that happened. So that entire weekend I was down with family and had the assistant director running the show as best as he could. I got back and was like, all right, I gotta kill this. I gotta just do whatever I can since we don't have a director and I don't know when we're getting another one. So in this time period until we got a new boss, I was working 14 to 15 hour days and 7 days a week. I didn't have a day off. There was no way that I could have a day off because nobody knew what they were doing except for me. And that was it. So when you take 14 hours, let me get my phone, 14 hours times 7, that's 98 hours, okay? 98 hours. This is twice as much as someone with a normal 35 to 40 hour work week. That should not happen, like, ever. I don't wish that upon anybody. So when you take 98 times 2, that's what you get in 2 weeks. That's what I was doing. It got to the point where I was on autopilot mode and I felt as though I was just a robot. Like, and I had nothing. I was emotionless. I wasn't happy. I wasn't sad. I was just doing everything possible in order to keep the business running and to keep it afloat, not drown at all. So a week before my next director started, I lost it. I was so emotionally done. I was so mentally done and physically done. My body was hurting like no other. And one of my servers was being harassed by a caregiver who thought they just ran the whole thing and was upset with how their meal turned out and wanted it redone. And mind you, it's 45 minutes past our service hours. Like, I'm ready to leave and head home. And he got so upset, he was demanding that it should be like remade and whatnot. And I kept telling the server, like, I'm sorry, everything's off and closed. Like, I don't know what to tell him. He would not take no for an answer, and I just lost it. I started going off telling him that if he didn't like his food, he could hop the wall and go to Burger King, that he needed to be elaborate and whatnot. I don't want to go too into detail, but I got in trouble. I thought I was going to lose my job. I almost did. And that, for me, was one of the lowest points in my life ever. I was never one to get in trouble and was a goody two-shoes in school, always got good grades, never went out to party, never did drugs or any of that. I legit was a textbook child. So that for me was one of my lowest points ever in my career. I felt that everything that I had worked for had just come crashing down, just like everything in a glass box just completely shattered. When I was actually written up, it was my final warning, my final written. Mind you, I've never been written up. Like, I surpassed it all because of the way that he made it sound. That day that I had a corrective action, my boss, my new director, started. And that was not how I wanted him to see me, because I was so much better than that. And of course, because he's my director, he's going to be aware of that situation. But he never let that go, ever. I was trying to move past it, and he never let it go. Anytime something would happen, he got, no, don't go screaming at people. You need to keep it calm, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's fucking stupid. I was trying to just, like, move on and grow and learn from the situation to never do it again. Learn how to control your actions and what you say and how you just respond to any situation. And the next 4 months were some of the hardest months of my life. He somehow manipulated his way into our community. He had no idea what he was doing. He had never run a business before. He said he did. He had never dealt with a senior community. He had no idea what he was doing ordering wise, budget wise, menu writing. He sucked at it. And he always told our residents that everything was made from scratch, that everything was fresh. He never cooked a damn thing. He never put on an apron, and when he did, it was just to be showy. He lied to everyone and anyone that he could. It just, oh my God. I have never been so belittled in my life. I was made to be completely nothing, and he pinned everyone against one another. He would go, oh, well, so-and-so said this about you, so what do you think? And it's like, wait, what? What do you mean that's what they said? So I would go to that person and go, so you said this? And they go, no, I never said that. He would make up lies to have everybody against one another so that he would have control over everybody. So nobody was on a team, or nobody had a side that they chose. They were just, everybody was out for themselves. There was no sense of family and unionship whatsoever. We have a certain budget. So for every resident, you get to spend X amount of dollars per day on them, and then you multiply that, and that's how much you get for a month for every resident. You add it up, and that's your total budget for the month. So he spent in 4 months $60,000 more than he should. So divide that by 4. That's $15,000 over budget every month. I don't understand how that's possible, but he did it. He did it. He would not listen to anybody when you would say, hey chef, we have enough of this, you don't need to order anymore. He'd go, that's enough from you, that's none of your business, thank you, good day. And I'm like, the hell? He wanted control of every single situation and somehow got it. I don't even understand how he got the fucking job, but he did. I eventually had enough that I decided to go to my skilled nursing facility because we had an open position, and I was like, yep, I want it, I want to take it. I can't be in this kitchen anymore. I didn't say that, but I couldn't be in that kitchen anymore. I wanted to get away, and I felt the only way I could get away without getting another job is by going up to skilled nursing. So that's what I did. He started making rumors saying that he banished me up there, and that I got in a fight with somebody, and that I was no longer allowed to be in the main kitchen or something like that. And I was like, that is ridiculous. I chose to go up there. What does he mean? He banished me? He didn't banish me. Nobody's banished anywhere unless you're being really stupid. It got to the point where you would hand in a vacation request a month, 2 months even in advance. He would rip it up in your face. I mean, rip it up in your face. You tried to take 1 day off in November or December. He would say, nope, it's blackout season. You can't take any time off. Nobody's allowed time off. And then he would let everybody else take a day off in those months. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? How is that fair at all? Because it's not. I'm here trying to help you, and you're twisting my words and turning everything against me just because of my fucking corrective action. What the hell is wrong with you? You don't do this to people. And because he was spending so much money, we think he's running a catering business or something outside of this job. You can even get into the dry storage, and it's a pretty good closet size space. Things were stacked so high you would try to reach for something and it would fall on your head. And then he would say it was my fault or somebody else's fault. And it's you're the one buying all this stuff. Where do you expect us to put it all? So then he started hiding it in an extra storage room and then wouldn't allow anybody to go down there except for one person. And it just, all the time, was fucking stupid. And me and my coworker at the time, we would talk about her little girl and her son, and we were just having bonding moments and whatnot, and he would go, what are you two talking about? And I would just say her kids, and he'd go, I don't want you talking to her about your outside life and this and that. You're here to work and blah, blah, blah. And it's okay, I understand that, but at the same time, I'm here more than I am at home. I want to get to know my coworkers and at least be acquainted with them and whatnot. He'd go, nope, you can't do that. If you will, or if you do, then I'll write you up and you'll be in trouble and this and that. It's oh my God, literally just one thing after another. we would go in the walk-ins or we would hide. And anytime he left, it was like a relief because we could finally be free. He literally would not let you leave the kitchen without you letting him know where you're going. I couldn't go to the bathroom without asking him first. I'm sorry, I'm a 26-year-old woman. You're gonna treat me like a 5-year-old and I can't go pee unless I ask you? Like, what the hell is that? So, it literally got so out of hand and he belittled everybody. He was even pitting me against my assistant director, and we had worked with each other for a very long time and also went to high school together. And we knew exactly who one another was, and we never had bad thoughts against one another, and he made it so we did. Like, it was bad. Eventually, things got so bad, people started to listen to us, and our regional director flew in on just surprise notice just to stop by and see how things are doing. She actually asked to come up to skilled because that's where I was, and my director had no idea where skilled nursing was or the kitchen. He had no idea. The time that he brought her to my kitchen was the first time he had been up there. As a director, you need to be like present as all hell. Like, you need to be available, you need to be present, you just need to be there for everybody. He was not. And she saw through that real quickly. Through the, Miss will try this croissant, try this, like, she saw through it real quick. We actually had a meeting. She had a meeting with me, my assistant director, and a few other people individually. And he was so paranoid and taken aback because our regional just surprised us and just was like, hi, I'm here to see how things are going. He interrupted my session with the regional director because he was so nervous and concerned that he was going to lose his job. That's how bad it was. He interrupted me twice just to prove that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And then of course he put the chef coat on, of course he put the apron on. He was never in chef clothes, never did anything, and she saw right through him. I showed her my videos, I showed her my pictures, I showed her literally everything, I told her everything, and I felt like I was talking with a therapist, and she's like, don't be scared, just talk to me like you're talking to a friend. I want you to feel welcome and okay. I was like, okay, and I felt as though we bonded really nicely. And I would say a week and a half later, he was walked out by corporate. They had a conference call and they told him over the phone that they no longer needed his services. My regional director, or whoever was there helping us, because we had way too many to count, walked him off property. I have never done a happy dance before, but I did that day. I was jumping up and down and screaming and shouting and just like so excited. I felt like this huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders and I felt free. I felt like I could breathe again. I feel like I could talk again and just be myself again, because I felt like I hadn't for the last 4 months, even though I was hiding in a separate kitchen. It was so bad. Like, anytime I would go to the main kitchen to pick something up, what are you taking? What are you taking? You don't need that. You don't need that. And he would steal things from my basket and like hoard things in his kitchen and was making it so I could not feed my residents. I'm like, well, you don't do this. You can't tell me that I can't take stuff because I'm here for my residents. I'm here to cook for them. Like, okay. So all of that was from October of 2017 to February of 2018. So just about a year ago. So then we went from February to end of March without a director. So we had my regional director, we had corporate chefs come in and help us, and we finally had a director running his own ship by April. I liked him at first. I was like, okay, like this, I think this will work out. He seems a little quiet though, a little shy, a little more reserved. Usually chefs are like really outgoing and like woo, crazy. But I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. But because I had had enough with all the chefs coming in, with our regional director coming in and trying to change things and make things better when in her eyes. I had had enough, so I found another job and I put in my notice, and my director was very concerned and decided to pull me in the office and was like, what's going on, Jules? Like, why are you putting in your notice? This is like really all of a sudden, this is catching me off guard. Like, you didn't really show that you were done or this and that. And I was just like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of the ups and downs. I'm happy that you're here and whatever, but I can't do this anymore. I can't be the only one holding this foundation up. Like, I just can't. It's way too much and I've had enough. And he goes, well, what would make you stay? Like, what can I do in order to get you to stay? I was like, well, there's been a lot of talk about me getting the dining services manager position, but I haven't seen anything. I know they don't necessarily trust me because of my incident in October, but I feel as though I've changed and this and that. I feel like I'm ready and whatnot. I feel like that would be the only thing that's going to make me stay. So he was like, okay, let me see what I can do. Like, can I have a day or 2 days before we actually turn this in? And I was like, okay, sure. Literally 5 hours later, he comes to me and he goes, the job's yours. I was like, what? What? What do you mean the job is mine? Like 5 hours later, the job is mine? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I told you that I want you to stay. I see a lot of potential in you and I want to do this. And I was like, okay. So I decided to rescind my acceptance of my other job and stay and do the dining services manager position. So I did that for 2.5 months-ish. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I finally had a purpose again. I was happy to go to work again. I could wear nice people clothes and look pretty instead of just wearing my white and black chef clothes or whatever. And he would say things all the time like, well, you're going to be stuck with me for a really long time. I'm going to teach you how to run your own department. I'm going to teach you how to run your kitchen successfully and this and this and this. And I want you to be on your own in 3 or 4 years. I want you to be able to do this and just freaking soar. And I was like, alrighty, like, let's do this. I decided to take some time off for my birthday just to treat myself, and I don't really take vacation that much. I always feel guilty. Even though everybody should do it, I always feel guilty for splurging on myself, spoiling myself. I don't like to do it. I always feel guilty. Something I need to get over because you always deserve to spoil yourself. So I took my birthday off, which is Memorial Day weekend, and I get a text the day before I go back, and it's from my director, and he goes, I'm so sorry, Jules. You might have better luck in Gilbert. And I was like, what? Like, what? It's like, what kind of text message is that? I was like, wait, am I fired? Because the day before we had State show up, and I was like, oh my god, like, what do I do? And I was trying to call him and he wouldn't answer. And I was like, oh, he's probably really busy. Like, okay. So I called him and I was like, hey, what's going on? Like, am I being fired? Or like, what the hell? Like, what kind of message was that? And he was like, nobody told you? And I was like, nobody told me what? What are you talking about? And he goes, Julie, I left. I was like, no. I was like, you did not leave. He was like, yeah, I quit. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, what? You said I'll see you after this weekend. Like, have a good birthday and I'll see you when you get back. I was like, wait, what? You didn't show any signs of, like, not liking your job and that you couldn't do this. I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, I know, I'm really sorry. I feel really bad. You're the only one I really feel bad about leaving behind. And I was like, oh no. I was like, no, Julie, wake up. And I was like trying to pinch myself, like, oh my god, this is not happening again. This is not happening again. I trusted this guy. I let my walls down. I let my guard down, and this is not happening. I was like, this is not happening. No. And I kept trying to pinch myself, and I was already awake. Like, there was no dreaming. It happened all over again. So we had a couple line cooks back in the kitchen, and I was trying to help out where I could. I knew a lot of the ordering, so that's what I was trying to do. I would say 2 weeks later, 2 of the line cooks had put in their notice, and we're done. So there was only one guy back there, and he was super cocky. He said he knew how to do everything, and he was literally messing everything up. My residents were pissed, and they kept asking me, Julie, why can't you just go back in there? Why can't you just do everything? You know what you're doing. Why won't they let you do it? And I was like, I don't want to overstep my boundaries and this and that. Now if our director of the community says to do so, then I will. But until then, like, I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. And they're like, okay, like, I understand, I guess. So he then got time somehow to go on vacation. I don't know how. I don't even know how. And then he was sick, and he never came back. And we tried to work something out to where we could get him to start again, and then he said there was miscommunication and he didn't know when to start, even though I was like really direct and specific with what I had said. It was legitimately just me for 2 months straight. And when I say 2 months straight, like, I did not have a day off in 2 months. Like, ever. I went through so much in 2 months. I don't even know where to begin. I don't. I worked by myself on my line in my kitchen by myself for 2 months. I was cooking for 175 residents, almost 200 residents, and then sometimes residents bring guests and whatnot. And when you have things like happy hour and everybody comes in all at once after happy hour is done, that's not fun, like, at all. So I did that for 2 months. I did the ordering, I did the budgeting, I did the menu writing, and cooked everything by myself. It got to the point where I didn't eat ever. I would be so busy that I would forget that I'm even hungry, even though I'm literally dealing with food and it's right in front of me. If I did eat, I would run late. So it was always eat and run late, or don't eat and be on time. So I was always like, I'm gonna be on time. That's what I'm gonna do. I can't afford to be late. So if I did eat, it was on a very easy day, and my prep cook somehow prepped me for dinner. It was bad. I learned so much about myself in 2 months that I didn't even think was possible. It got to the point where we did have a new director hired, and I was getting to the point where I was impatient, and I didn't want to do it anymore. Even 2 weeks, everybody just kept saying, hold on, Julie, just hold on, it's gonna be okay. But I was so exhausted that I just couldn't do it anymore. I put in my notice again. By now, this is the third time. I put my notice in October of 2017 when my second director started. I put my notice in again for second time when I got the dining services manager position, and then this is now the third time in a matter of 6 months, 7 months, 7, 8 months, something like that. And I had turned it in, and my interim director, who's helping us, who's now our assistant director, he's like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you don't want to hold on another 2 weeks? And I was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm so tired. Like, it was to the point where I wouldn't even sleep. I would be constantly stressing about everything that I had to do the next day and what I had to order and if I was going to forget something. And it was so much to do by myself. And if I didn't have anything and my residents weren't happy, I wasn't happy. So I kept beating myself up because I was like, you're better than this, you're better than this. Anytime I would have a full window of tickets, I was like, oh my God, I would get pissed at myself. I wouldn't get pissed at anybody else. I was like, you're better than this, you can do this. Like, where are you, Julie? Wake up. Like, get over everything that's going on. Put it to the side and just do it. And that's what I had to do literally every single day. The only thing that kept me going was knowing that I was going to have a director in 2 weeks. Only thing that was keeping me going was music. The only thing that was keeping me going was my boyfriend, who kept saying, you can do it. It's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to get upset. And it was the hardest 2 months of my life. And the day that my director started, I cried. I was so happy. I felt as though I instantly connected with him. I instantly liked him. He was so chill and made me feel at peace, and I was like, oh, thank God. I made it. I made it. That was just the hardest time of my life. So now he's been with us for 6 months. Things are finally turned around. The water is finally calm. It's after the storm. I don't see a storm on the horizon at all. There's little bumps here and there, but that goes with any job, every day, here and there, whatever. You're gonna have little hiccups, but that's okay. It's just so much better than what it was. Oh my God. When everybody told me, Julie, you need to get out of there. You can't do this. Like, this is not healthy for you. You need to get out. You're gonna kill yourself. Like, doing this, you're slowly killing yourself. And I was like, I know, but I can't leave. I can't leave. I need to be there for my residents. I care too much. I stuck through it even though everybody told me to quit. I kept going. I just kept it moving. And now I'm the executive chef. I'm sorry. It's been the hardest time of my life, yet the most rewarding. I stuck through it when everybody told me to stop and to get out, and I almost did, but I didn't. And all of that hard work and that stress and the crying and the legit blood, sweat, and tears paid off. Dreams come true. And I had to see that the hard way, unfortunately. Now I'm blessed with a great crew who feels like a family to me. My chef feels like another big brother. I learn from him every day. He always jokes and says, you're the chef now, I'm not. He goes, you're the mama now, not me. So, I don't know, everything that I've learned in those 2 months have made me into the woman now that I'm so happy to look in the mirror to see who I am. And that person that I was a year ago is not the person that I wanted to be, and I look at her now and think, wow, that's so disappointing. Like, really, Julie? I used to freak out over the dumbest stuff and get mad at children, legit children who are little teenagers. Granted, they're 15, 16 and up, but like, they're little. I'm 10 plus years older than them, and I was freaking out on them over the dumbest things. This last year, I've just blossomed, and especially those last 2 months by myself, I learned so much. I learned what's a true problem, what isn't. I learned what is worth my time and what isn't. I've learned just what to be upset over and what is not worth it. I grew up, and the thing that I've realized is when I had a talk with my executive director of the community, he's really upset and disappointed in me.
He's like, after everything you've been, you're just gonna quit? And I have a feeling you're doing this so you get the executive position, or executive chef position. I said, no, so I'm doing it. You don't know what it's like working by yourself every single day, and everybody's relying on you. And when you mess something up, it's on you. It's not on anybody else. And nobody else realizes that except for me. And y'all think that I'm just putting in my notice just to get that executive chef position. Like, that's really upsetting. And he was like, well, last time you put in your notice, you got the dining services manager position, so what makes this time any different? And I was like, circumstances have changed. Like, that's just not how it is. And he's like, I'm going to tell you something. Can we, like, talk face to face, like, person to person on a real level? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, what? He's like, Julia, I'm going to need you to grow up. And I was like, what? Like, ouch. I'm sorry. I'm the one who's keeping your business afloat, and you're telling me that I need to grow up? I was like, wow, fuck you too, buddy. I didn't say any of that to his face because I needed to grow up. I just soaked it in and said, okay. And he's like, yeah, you're doing a lot of great work and we all see it and appreciate it, but I'm gonna need you to grow up. I was pissed. I took that and I let it drive me the entire rest of the time. He said, now you got a couple weeks until you get your new director and things are gonna be fine. I was like, I know. I'm just exhausted. You don't know what it's like to be exhausted the way that I am. And that's what truly got me through it. It just, I don't know. I literally took that and I thought about it every single day. Every single day. And now look where it's got me. I'm now the executive chef. It's really, really, really weird to say that, because when I started, I was just a little server. I was a timid little girl. I was afraid to socialize with anybody and get outside of my comfort zone in my little bubble. And now I'm a head honcho running the damn thing. Like, what? What? So I just, even when you feel like giving up, believe in yourself, because you don't know what you're capable of until after you've accomplished it and you look back. Like I said earlier, dreams come true, whether it's a dream or not of yours. Sometimes opportunities just land in your lap. Mine was that, but yet I also worked for it. I'm proud of the woman that I am, and I'm proud of who I see in the reflection, and it's a really great feeling to feel happy again, to feel like myself again. I'm really happy with where I'm at. It was the roughest year of my life, career-wise, but I got through it. So, let's see what else happened, because there's more. So, starting in July and August, John and I, my boyfriend, started looking for houses because we had been saving for quite a bit of time. We found a couple that we really, really loved and put an offer down, and it just wasn't our time. So we just kept looking and looking, and then John's parents bought a house, and they found out they were going to be closing on it sooner rather than later. We had to have the talk the day that we found out that we weren't getting the house that we wanted. So it was kind of bittersweet because they had just closed on their house. We got the news that we had to be out of the house that we were renting within a month. And I was like, oh no. Like, oh no, you gotta be kidding me. Like, oh no. Like, it was just a huge blow. We had less than 2 weeks to find a place. And then those next 2 weeks, we had to pack and get the hell out of that house. Be out by October 1st. That time was so stressful. Like, anybody knows
Like anybody who's moved knows, like packing your life in boxes and then having to up your life and literally move it to another location. Like, I hate moving so much. John and I have unanimously decided that the next time we move, we are hiring movers. It was extremely difficult because we live on the 3rd floor and there's no elevator, like at all. So that was really difficult. That was a huge, I would say, test in our relationship because we had never really gone through it. We moved me out of my apartment into his parents' house, but that wasn't like the move that we had in September. That was that was difficult. So we did that, but now we're in our own place. I actually get my own little studio, which I'm really excited for, and I'm now wanting to get back into YouTube, so it's really nice. I get my own little beauty room, and it's nice having our own place because we never really had that. It was always like us with his parents and his sisters. So it's been nice to see what it's like with just the two of us on our own, and things happen for a reason. I do think it is a good thing that we didn't get a house. We're not married. We're not getting married yet. We don't have kids. We're not expecting. So it's good for us to just be in an apartment for a while and like really getting to know one another, even though we've been together for almost 3 years already, which is insane. Other than that, everything in life has been good. I actually got to host Thanksgiving here at my apartment, and I actually got to cook for everybody, which is so nice and exciting. And I had decorated my house for the holidays and had my nice little tree, and it was really, really nice. But other than that, everything has ended on such a positive note. 2019 is off to a good start, I would say, and I'm very excited to see where it's going to lead us all. I definitely think 2019 is going to be a very good year, or everybody's year. Just, I'm all about positivity this year and just doing what makes me happy. If something doesn't make me happen, or what? If something doesn't make me happy, then bye-bye. Like, you can get the hell out. I don't need any of that negative shit in my life. I've had enough. I can't handle it anymore. So I think that is it for this video. I've been rambling for, I want to say, 40 something minutes. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's shorter than that. I feel like I've been talking for a really, really long time. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video and listening to me vent and rant and unfortunately cry. I was not expecting to get so emotional like I did. I'm excited to see how far I push myself this year. And if you guys have any video ideas, definitely leave a comment down below. If you're happy to see me back, give this video a like, I guess. If you like me or my channel, if you've watched any of my previous videos besides this one, subscribe to my channel. I'll definitely be here a lot more often. I'm excited to see what the future has. So thank you again, guys, for watching my long rant video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.